coming to you live from my palatial dining room here in the Powell estate. Yes, this beautiful 20-bedroom estate sprawled on hundreds of acres. Nah, not really. Just a little old house. And as you know, I have had an accident recently, and that accident was that I went outside late at night with the dog right before I go to bed and happened to think that the stairs were fine and they could support my weight. And next thing I know, I've slipped on ice and fallen. And well, it would have been a beautiful thing had it been in any way filmed. It would have been beautiful, but you'll just have to take my word for it. It was quite an event. Fractured a rib, and it made me think. Now, when I went out there, it was raining. Of course, it had been cold, but it was raining. I thought, well, it's raining. That means that there can't be anything wrong here. Didn't even enter my mind that there could be anything other than just a wet step to stand upon. Cement step, shouldn't be any problem. Well, that was, as you know, not quite the reality. And what does that mean? It kind of made me think about things. Oftentimes we are confronted with people who have varying belief systems. They have reasoning behind their belief systems. I'm not here to argue any of that. But I am here to say that not everything is as it appears. When the Apostle Paul was speaking, for example, to the Ephesians, there in Ephesians, or in Acts chapter 20, he said, just be aware that once I leave, there's going to be people that come along, wolves in sheep's clothing, and some are going to come right from within your midst. Meaning that there's motives that are oftentimes hidden until such time as an opportunity arises. And I think it's in Jude chapter, well, there's only one chapter in Jude, so don't have to say chapter. Verse 12 talks about hidden reefs, these people that have crept in unaware, and they're just there, and they're disturbing the fellowship of the believers. And that just kind of made me think, for all of us, how important is it that our foundation is truly in what God has revealed to us in His Word? It allows us to see things a little more clearly. The most dangerous relationship that a person can have with their God is a relationship that they have through another person, meaning that they don't really know God, they know a person for God. That person may be a nice person today. We've all probably experienced this at some point in our life. He may go astray tomorrow, he or she. And if your relationship to that individual is the means by which you measure your relationship to God, you're in big trouble. The believers in the first century were confronted with the same issue. They were entrusted with the Word of God, those things that the apostles had sent in letter form, what they had heard in the Gospels and read by virtue of these letters that were being sent abroad by the apostles, those who had witnessed the resurrection of Christ, as Paul said in 1 Corinthians 15. These were validated apostles. And they were either going to accept what was written and understood, or they were going to accept another person's who didn't have the same degree of credibility. They were going to accept their opinion. For all of us, how important is the Word of God for our foundation? It's almost like stepping on that step. It may appear to be something really secure, but it's the means by which a person can really get hurt. I don't know how many people I've seen have their faith damaged because they placed more faith in an individual than they did in God and His Word. God gave us His Word so that we could know Him. And in knowing Him, then we know how to relate to the circumstance around us. I can assure you, the next time it's cold, and even if there's a hint that there may be a measure of ice out there, I can absolutely assure you, I'm not going to get familiar with that. I'm going to trust what I have learned, what I've come to know by experience and by objective truth. You can slip. And man, does it hurt. By the way, I do want to say, God was merciful. It was just a fractured rib. It could have been a neck. Could have been a back. Could have been a hip. Could have been many things. But just a rib, which is pretty uncomfortable, but just a rib. Till next time, friends. God bless you.